My friend Stacy had won tickets to a sneak peek of a movie premiere. I say, my friend, but really I was her next-door neighbor for most of my life until my family moved to the other side of the city about 45 minutes away so Dad could be closer to work. My name is Chris. I'm 18 and so is Stacy. I wasn't boyfriend material for her, but truth be told I would like to have been. Stacy lived at home alone with her mom. She was out of my league. She was several inches shorter than me. She was beautiful with long straight brunette hair, sparkling blue eyes, a curvy body and a smile that could melt your heart. She was popular and dressed the part of a popular girl. I wasn't exactly a geek, but I did occasionally get picked on by some of the bigger jock football players. One of which, Zach Thomas, the star running back, now lived next door to her where I used to live. He was a senior this year and had actually dated Stacy for a short while at the beginning of the year. It didn't last long though once Stacy found out he was an absolute jerk. Myself, I was somewhat athletic, though scrawny, with medium-length dark hair. I had a good complexion that girls were jealous about. I only know this because they would tell me they were jealous of that and my long lashes and blue eyes. I was even on the swim team. We had even won regionals this year, my junior year. Stacy liked sci-fi space movies, but none of her girlfriends were into that. She was afraid they wouldn't even understand and would laugh at her if they found out she liked them. She knew from growing up next to each other that she could always get me to go with her to them. These movies were the only time I got to be around such a beautiful girl. I knew she would never go out with me, but I couldn't help saying yes anytime these movies came up. Before she could drive, her mom would always drive us over to a theater in another town about 20 minutes away. She said it was because it was a newer state-of-the-art large theater with digital screens, but I had my suspicion it was so none of her friends would catch her out in public with me. This was the first time Stacy had called me after we had moved. I had not had a date with her since before school had started and it was now mid-February. She told me all about the sneak peek premiere on Friday night and asked if I could go. I told her I could even before I had asked my parents. I knew Mom would be okay with it, though. She always would embarrass me saying, "You two make such a cute young couple," every time we would come home from the movies. I think it was that she saw the little kiss on the cheek that Stacy would give me after each movie. She would never kiss me on the lips, just on the cheek. It was just enough to give me hope. I was a fool. I kept coming back for more and here I was once again. I didn't have much in the way of dress clothes. I had a black ribbed turtleneck sweater that I chose to wear. But the only dress pants I had were a pair of gray lightweight slacks that were for church in the summer. I put on some black socks and my good black Sunday shoes. I had opened the door to my room as I looked at myself in the mirror when Mom walked by and saw me. She looked me once over. My, how handsome. Then she got a puzzled look on her face. "Are those your church pants?" "Yeah, Mom," I replied. "Why?" She looked at me disapproving. "Sweetie, those are too light. It's only going to be about 20 degrees tonight." "But Mom," I argued, I was planning to wear my black winter jacket. It wasn't a convincing argument for her. "But your legs will be freezing. Do you not have any other pants you can wear? How about some good jeans?" "Mom, this is for a date with Stacy. I want to look nice. I don't want to wear jeans." At the time, I didn't realize it, but I should have just worn the jeans. What happened the rest of that evening would change my life. Mom looked at me in deep thought for a moment. "Wait here, I have an idea," she said and rushed off. She returned quickly with a flat square package in her hand and started to rip it open. "Take off your pants. I am going to have to help you with this." I was already taking my pants off when it occurred to me what she had in her hands. "Mom, are you crazy?" "I'm not wearing pantyhose," I objected. My mom dropped her shoulders and cocked her head unamused by my defiance. Now, sweetie, don't argue with me. You don't have that much time before I need to drive you over to Stacy's. If you are going to wear the slacks, then you will put on the pantyhose. They will keep you warm. Your father wears them all the time when he goes hunting. Besides, no one is ever going to know. It was sound reasoning at the moment. I believed her, but little did I know at the time that she was wrong. I took off my shoes, socks and pants and let her show me how to roll each leg of the pantyhose up to make them easier to put on. It was a very strange but pleasant sensation as I pulled them up into place. They felt smooth, warm, silky and kind of sexy. I pulled my pants and the rest of my clothes back on. Mom was right. No one would be able to tell by looking that I was wearing pantyhose. I could also tell that she was right about my legs being warmer with them on. Oh, sweetie, look at the time. We need to go, Mom said. I grabbed my jacket and we headed out the door to the car. She drove me all the way to Stacy's house on the other side of town and dropped me off. Bye, sweetie, have a great time. Thanks, Mom, and don't worry, Stacy will bring me home afterwards and I have my key to get in, so please don't wait up. She nodded approval and drove away. As I turned to walk towards Stacy's house, the rumble of a loud engine or maybe a muffler along with the thumping of loud music caught my attention. I turned back around to see an older black Mustang with a white racing stripe pull up and screech to a halt. In the driver's seat was Carl Handler, a football jock, and out of the passenger seat popped none other than Zach Thomas. I knew what was coming. I was horrified at the thought, but I could not budge. I was frozen as Zach approached me. Hey there, shrimp, he said as he grabbed the back of my pants with one hand and my underwear with the other to give me the usual wedge that was customary every time he saw me. I don't know whether it really mattered to him that I was still able to see Stacy and he wasn't, but I'm sure it didn't help matters for me. The problem this time is that he didn't really grab my underwear. He grabbed my pantyhose. He yanked up as he had every other time, except this time I wasn't pulled up in the air as he expected. He was just holding stretchy pantyhose in one hand and still held the belt loop of my pants in the other. What the? A big smile appeared on his face. What kind of a sissy are you? No wonder you hang out with the girls. Hey, Carl. Come look at this. Carl had already popped his body up and exited with a jump out the driver's side window, leaving his car still running. Carl looked on very amused. It looks like we got ourselves a little sissy that likes wearing girls' clothes. Come on, guys, please, I said. But knowing my plea was falling on deaf ears. You know. Zach said, girls don't wear pants. He yanked hard and the seam of my lightweight pants ripped completely off my legs like they were rip-away basketball pants. I fell to the ground and he grabbed one of my feet. The shoe and the sock both came off that foot. Carl grabbed the other foot and I fell back to the ground as the other shoe and sock were removed. My coat was already unzipped. Zach grabbed it by the mid-collar and it slid off. Zach ran with my coat while Carl grabbed up both of my shoes. They jumped into Carl's Mustang and sped off while I was attempting to use my hands unsuccessfully to hide my pantyhose-covered legs. It was at that moment that I heard Stacy's front door open. I stood up straight. What was all that commotion? She asked, looking in the direction the car had sped off before looking back at me. Her eyes got wide. Are you wearing a sweater dress? I realized that my turtleneck was a size too big and came down below my butt. It looked like I was wearing a black turtleneck sweater dress with pantyhose. Oh my gosh! No! I almost started to cry. This is a turtleneck. They took my pants. She stared at me for a couple of seconds before realizing I was standing half naked in the freezing cold. Oh, come in, sorry. I ran to the door. Okay, I'm confused, she said. Zach took your pants. Did he also put the pantyhose on you? No, of course not. I did that. I mean, Mom thought it would help me keep warm, I said. She snickered. Without your pants, I'm guessing you are glad you have them on now as cold as it is. Yeah, kind of, I guess. I didn't really mind until Zach found out when he tried to wedge me again, I told her. I'm sorry about the movie. There is no way I can get home to change before we have to be there. We don't have time to drive 45 minutes back to my house and then back out this way plus another 20 minutes out of town. We will miss the sneak peek. Unless you have some pants I can wear. Since it is just you and your mom, I kind of doubt you do. Well, the only pants I have that would even come close to fitting you might be some leggings. The only pair I think I have that might fit are pink. Mom is shorter than I am, so none of hers are going to work either. She was silent for a minute. Then a sparkle flickered in her eye. Look, I have an idea. I am not missing this sneak peek. I want to be the first to see this. I always invite you to these things 'cause I know you love them, too. So, come with me. You will do exactly what I say, understand? I'm not sure, I said. Just trust me. She leaned closer to me and batted her eyes. Please, it will be fun. I nodded my head. Great, then come with me. She headed up the stairs into her mom's bedroom. I don't have any pants that will fit you, but I do have something that will fit. But first, take off all your clothes, she said, as if it was the most normal thing in the world to ask of me. Excuse me? You heard me, strip, she repeated. I did as I was told. She continued to rummage through her mom's closet. Where is it? I know she borrowed it. Here it is. It looked like the turtleneck I had been wearing, but it was a dress. It was a sweater material that was ribbed. It was black and had thick belt loops around it. There was a wide belt that buckled in the middle and front. I was shocked. I know I was wearing pantyhose, but I am not wearing a dress out in public. Are you crazy? That would be humiliating. I've had enough of that tonight already. She came over to me and put her arms around my waist. She had never done that before. She said, Honey, we don't have time to argue about this. I am not missing this movie and I don't have much time to get you ready. I promise, no one will know it is you except me. Do you want to go out with me or not? If you do, then you are going to have to do it my way tonight. Understand? I didn't know when I would get the chance again, and I was a sucker. I nodded to her that I would do it. She took me and the dress to her room. She pulled out a black lacy bra, black panties, and a pair of black ribbed tights from her dresser drawer. Put the underwear and the tights on, she commanded. Why the underwear? No one is going to see that, I asked. If you have the underwear on, it will help you feel the part better, I think, she said. Now stop wasting time. I did as I was told. She had to help me with the bra. The bra was padded and with a little bit of stuffing gave me the appearance of having some modest breasts. The tights were thicker and I could tell they would be warmer than the pantyhose. She had me sit down while she grabbed a hairbrush and started brushing my hair straight back in the front. She took a pink hairband that had a white flower with some sparkly jewels in it offset to one side. She forced the hair on the front of my head straight back with it. It hurt a bit as she put it in place. She then used a pick to tease out my hair in the back. Hold on, I will be right back, she said. She came back to her room with a curling iron. She plugged it in to get it warmed up. Close your eyes, she said. Again, I did what I was told. I could feel her applying foundation makeup to my face. This isn't the exact color you need, but it will have to do for now. I opened my eyes. She started with the makeup around my eyes. It felt thick on as she loaded on eyeliner, think shadow on my eyelids, and mascara. She put blush on my cheeks. She dabbed lipstick from a wet paintbrush like stick onto my lips. It tasted sweet, like cotton candy. Then she took the curling iron and took the back of my hair and twisted around in 5 or 6 spots and held it for about 30 seconds in each of the sections. She stepped back. Wow. Wow, what? I asked. Oh, shoes, she said and ran out of the room. She hollered back, put the dress on. I did as I was told. I slid the dress over my head. It was strange as the dress slid on how it had to slide over my breasts to be adjusted into just the right place. I buckled the belt around the waistline. The dress was short and only came just above my knees. She came back with 2 pairs of shoes. Sorry, these are all I can find that might fit you. She presented me with a pair of black boots that had a significant heel on them and a pair of black leather pumps that had a strap across the top of the ankle. I don't think I could walk in either of those, I said. We don't have much time, try the boots, we've got to get going. I slid my foot into one of the boots and zipped up the long zipper on the side. Amazingly it fit. I put on the other boot. Before I could get up, Stacy put a necklace around my neck. It was silver with a diamond heart as the centerpiece. Then she took a pair of hoop earrings and began to put them on me. Oh, wait, what am I thinking? You don't have pierced ears. She laughed. Then she broke the prong off one side of each of the earrings. I used to do this before I had my ears pierced. She placed each of the hoop earrings she had turned into ear clips on each of my ears. She finally stepped back again. Oh, Chrissy. You, just wow. The guys are going to go crazy over you. I was not amused. That's not funny. As I stood up, she moved back away from the full-length mirror behind her and I saw myself fully for the first time as a girl. She was right. I looked amazing. I'd never looked this good ever in my life, but she didn't give me much time to soak it in. I had a brief look at a pretty girl with her hair pulled back, some short curls hanging out of the back, a cute little bow in her hair, a warm but sexy dress, some sexy heeled boots and tight covered legs. I looked good and ready for a night out. She grabbed me by the arm. Come on. We are gonna be late. Sorry, I don't have a coat that will fit you, but we have to go. I wobbled in the shoes trying to run after her. She grabbed 2 handbags off the wall by the garage. She handed a little red one to me. I got in her car and we took off. The 2 of us girls to go to the movies in her little red convertible. The top was kept up due to the cold weather, thank goodness for not having to be exposed in public as a girl just yet. It was not the date I had imagined that morning. We arrived at the theater. Stacy got out immediately. It gave me little time to react as I stepped out of the car into the cold night air in a dress for the first time. I was nervous, scared, and I didn't know why I was doing this. Come on, Christy, girlfriend, we will be late. I wobbled but gained my balance as I walked, trying to keep up and learn to walk in heels all at once. When we reached the door, a couple of guys were getting there at the same time as us. Hey there, girls. Ladies first, the first guy said as he swung the door open and moved out of my way. They were both tall, athletic, buzz-cut hair. Stacy hurried in front of me and went through first. I followed. There we go, ladies, the first guy said again as he put his hand on the small of my back and gently guided me through the door. It sent a warm buzz through me. It was so strange to have a door opened for me like that. It felt kind of nice. There were 2 lines inside. One for the people going to the official premiere and the others that were going to the sneak peek that started earlier. The official premiere line was much longer. Buzzcuts looked at Stacy and I. You girls wanna wait with us? Stacy looked genuinely bummetal. Sorry guys. But we have sneak peeks. Oh, that is so awesome. Well, maybe we will catch you later when you get out. Yeah, that would be great, Stacy said. We walked out of earshot of the 2 guys. Oh, my gosh. They are so cute. Stacy began to talk to me like I was a real girlfriend. She was giddy and jumping up and down a little. Then she saw the annoyed look in my eyes. I'm so sorry, Christy. You look so good, I kind of forgot, and that guy was definitely checking you out. Me? No, they were checking you out. They were? Well, yeah, maybe. But the one in the checkered shirt. He's still trying to look at you. I was stunned. I looked up just as I saw checkered shirt guy turn his head to the sky to pretend he was looking at something else. Holy crap! He is looking at me. My stomach turned over a little bit. This just kept getting worse. I'm on a date with the girl I want to go out with, but she's got me in a dress talking to me like I'm her best girlfriend. She is talking to me about guys that are hot and getting excited about guys that think I'm a hot girl. But I'm not gay. I told her, half shouting but whispering at the same time. Well, of course you aren't gay. And neither is he. He is a hot guy. She pointed to my reflection on a glass case, and you are a hot girl. Tonight, you are a girl. I looked at the reflection of the pretty girl. It was me. I was a pretty girl. Say it, she said. As if I were hypnotized. I'm a hot girl, I said. Yes. She was giddy again. And we can be like bestest friends. This is gonna be so much fun. I wasn't so sure I agreed. The line moved and we went into the movie. I honestly can't even remember much of the movie. I was messing with the hem of my dress, playing with my purse, feeling the curls on the back of my hair. It was so odd being out as a girl. I was a little bit disturbed at how casual and comfortable I felt. The movie ended, and as we were leaving, the 2 guys we had met coming in were coming out at the same time. Hey girls, we decided to see a different movie tonight. How was the sneak peek? Oh, it was so awesome. Stacy said. I have to go see it again. Buzzcut number 1 took the opportunity. Well, we could take you girls to see it again, sometime? Stacy looked at me and paused. That would be fun, maybe. I was shocked. What was she doing? I couldn't go out on date with a guy. No way. I planned to lay into her when we were alone. I couldn't do it now for fear of giving away my secret. We all started out the door. That's when we saw the flat tire on Stacy's car. Oh man. Not again, Stacy said. Buzzcut number 1 looked up. Is that your car? Yeah, she said. I don't have a spare and I live about 20 minutes from here over in the big city. He thought for a moment. I tell you what. Let me give you a ride home tonight. I can pick you up in the morning and bring you back to fix it or replace it. Oh, that would be great, but Christy lives quite a bit further away than I do on the other side of the city. Checkered Buzzcut spoke up. Well, the base is not that far from that side of town. I can take her. It's not that far out of the way. He suddenly realized that I wasn't wearing a coat. He took his off and put it around my shoulders. You look cold, we've been out here a while. Before I could protest, Stacy had already accepted. She gave me a hug and whispered in my ear, "Just go with it, I will make it up to you later." I wasn't sure I believed her. Checkered buzz cut led me to his car. It wasn't anything special, just a modest four-door sedan. I think a Chevy of some kind. He opened the door for me. I got in and he shut the door behind me. He got in himself. He started the engine and reached his hand across to me. I moved, startled, as he moved his hand to the glove box and pulled out some Tic Tacs. He offered me one. I was so relieved that he wasn't trying to grab me that I accepted. He popped a couple himself. "I'm Brad," he said. "Christy," I responded. He started talking and I listened. He told me how he and his other buzz cut friend were at the nearby army base. They were army. That explained the buzz cuts and what he had meant about being close to the base. He told me a couple jokes that were kind of snicker funny. I giggled as girly as I could when appropriate. I didn't want him to figure out that I wasn't a real girl for obvious reasons. He was nice and I didn't want to freak him out. He didn't deserve that. He told me he liked my necklace. I told him I liked his watch and I did. Not many guys wore watches anymore. As we pulled up to my house, I took his jacket off and handed it back to him. He grabbed my hand firmly but gently. Normally, I wouldn't do this with a girl I just met, but I don't know if I will see you again and I don't want to waste this opportunity. You are so beautiful. My heart was racing. He thinks I'm hot. He likes me. I didn't get to finish that thought. He leaned in towards me and looked in my eye. I looked back. He closed his eyes with his lips inches from mine. I was too shocked to move. He was kind enough to drive me home. He thinks I'm beautiful and he just wants a little kiss. For a brief moment I thought. Just for an instant. What could it hurt? It's just a kiss. I leaned towards him. Our lips barely separated. He leaned in the rest of the way and kissed me. A kiss on the lips, and he held it there momentarily. Then he opened his mouth and I opened mine and our tongues intertwined. It felt like a kiss should feel. It was wonderful, soothing, loving, wet. It was gentle and kind. It was passionate and deep. I was lost in it. As he pulled away, I leaned towards him, wanting just a little more. He gently touched his lips to mine and we kissed a soft little peck. "Good night, Christy, good night," I moaned and smiled at him. I opened up the door to the car and stumbled out, still drunk on the kiss, lost in a fantasy world. My boot heels clicked loudly across the pavement. Stacy was right, I thought. I am a girl. I am now. I heard his car drive away. As I approached the door to the house, I realized that my key was in my coat pocket. The one I no longer had. I couldn't get back in the house. Just then the porch light came on and Mom appeared from behind the door. "Can I help, Chris?" "Chris, is that you? What the hell are you wearing? Why are you dressed like that?" I moved past her into the house. I was mortified that she had seen me this way, but since she hadn't passed out, I was assuming she hadn't seen the movie scene kiss that had just blown me off my feet. "Mom, I know I look crazy. I can explain, but it's late. Can we talk about it in the morning?" "I promise I will tell you all about it in the morning." She looked at me a bit worried, then eased back. "Okay, but don't let your father see you in that outfit. He might go nuts." "I won't." I went to my room exhausted and feeling like I had never felt before. I went to bed dreaming about my first kiss. In my head, I was trying to decide if it was just that I was willing to help Stacy with her date to go out with these guys or crazier. Did I want to go out with them now, too? I went to bed with pleasant thoughts of the one true kiss I'd had in my life, and I think I was hoping there would be more to come. Then an awful thought popped into my head. I have nothing to wear. I went to bed dreamy and happy. When I woke, I could feel the heaviness of the makeup on my eyes. I had pulled off the dress but still had on the tights, panties, and bra. The evidence was there. It had to have been a dream, but it wasn't. What have I done? Oh, and Mom had seen me. She must have heard me stirring, and I can imagine she couldn't wait to talk to me and find out what in the world I was doing dressed like that last night. Before I could get out of bed, Mom knocked twice very gently and then entered. Good grief, Chris. I told you not to let your dad see you like that. You are lucky I am the one coming in here this morning, she said. I know, Mom, I'm sorry. It was just a weird night and I was so tired when I got home that I just passed out when I hit the pillow. I really did mean to change, I said. She was looking at me curiously. Do you like dressing like this? How long have you been doing this? Mom. I almost shouted. She simultaneously pushed her hands down and grimaced, indicating I needed to be quiet. At the same time, I realized I did not want to wake up Dad either. I'm not a crossdresser. I beg to differ, she said before giving me a chance to explain about the evening. She fell silent and listened as I told all about what happened that evening, starting from having my pants ripped off. I explained about the movie and Stacy really wanting to see it. How she had made me up. I told her about the guys we met, the second date Stacy made with them. The ride Brad gave me home. I, of course, left out the part about the fairy tale kiss. She listened intently and nodded her head while I explained all of this. When I finished, she was quiet for a few minutes while she soaked it all in. So, you let Stacy dress you up like this and you didn't protest? I tried. But I guess, yes, Mom. And you let her set the two of you up on a date with two guys and you didn't stop her? Well, I did say something. She cut me off. But you still have a date? Yeah, I guess. I wasn't sure where this was going. Honey, you let that girl dress you up like that and you didn't stop her from setting you up with a date with a boy. You really should learn to be more assertive. It's no wonder she sees you as a best friend. I need to think. I'm not sure what to do with you right now, but I do know I want you to get out of those clothes and go get your makeup washed off. Oh, and put on a ball cap or something to hide that hairdo. I got up and did as I was told. It took quite a bit of effort to get that thick makeup off my face. I put on a t-shirt and some jeans. I was just about to head to find Mom when the phone rang. Mom picked it up and seconds later called up to me. Chris. It's Stacy on the phone. I will take it in my room, Mom, thanks. I went to my room and picked the cordless up off of my dresser and plopped down with it on my bed. Hey Chrissy, how is it going this morning? Considering what you made me do last night, much better now. She paused. That's actually what I wanted to talk to you about. Donnie, the guy that helped me last night, fixed my tires. My car is good to go. I want to make things up to you a bit. I said I would. How would you like to go on a date with me to the mall, just you and me? I was surprised, but suspicious. It was too good to be true, but as I've already stated, I'm a sucker. Just you and me? For real? She giggled. Yes, silly. What do you say? That sounds great, I said. She said, I will pick you up in an hour." I looked up and found my mom standing in the doorway. Hold on, Stacy," I said. Mom asked, "So, is she still wanting you to go on a date with boys for her?" "I don't know, but I think so," I said. "She just asked me if I wanted to go on a date with her to the mall, just her and I." "Oh, really?" Mom got a look on her face like she knew what was going on. "Well, then. You got yourself into this mess. I am going to let you figure out how to deal with it. Let me get my purse and get you some money. Since you are going to the mall anyway, Stacy can help you pick out some outfits. Maybe a nice dress or some jeans for a girl your age." "Mom, I told you I'm not a cross-dresser. I am not buying a dress or girly jeans." I wasn't sure I was hearing her correctly. "Oh please, son, that girl has you wrapped around her fingers. You will do anything she wants, you always have. She put you in a dress last night and you let her do it. She is taking you to the mall to get you ready for your date with what's-his-name. So, if you are going to pass as a girl, you are going to need clothes, money, and you are going to need to let her help you." I was so shocked I was speechless as I followed her on her way to her purse. One thing I do want to say though, you better not do anything to lead those boys on. I saw you last night, you make a pretty cute girl. "Mom!" I shouted. Then realized how loud it was and hoped I had not woke up Dad. She looked back at me again as if it hadn't mattered what I said. She already knew better. These boys are older and you definitely don't want to give them the idea that you want to have another date, or this will be much more difficult when you do finally assert yourself to end this. I thought about the dreamy kiss from last night as she spoke. She rattled around in her purse and pulled out a pocketbook. She pulled out a very significant amount of cash and handed it to me. "You be careful with this and bring back anything you don't use. Oh. And whatever you buy, you will have to try on for me. I need to make sure you will look presentable." I sat in my room stunned. I thought all I would have to do was tell Stacy I didn't like dressing up for her and this would stop. Now Mom is telling me I have to go on this date. Surely, this was over. Stacy was so impressed with what I had done for her last night that she was truly coming over because she wanted me to be her boyfriend. In my heart I wanted it to be true, but deep down I knew that Mom was right. I knew why Stacy wanted to taking me to the mall. All I had to do was say no. I was still trying to make sense of how my life had turned so strange in the last 24 hours when the doorbell rang. It was Stacy. She was wearing a pair of very tight jeans with black flats and a dark tan leather coat over a black lace camisole. She had a turquoise necklace around her neck. "Hi, Chrissy. Is that what you are wearing?" I looked down at my t-shirt and jeans. "Yeah, why?" I grabbed a thicker heavy pullover hoodie and pulled it over my head. She smiled at me. "It's all right, we will just need to run back by my house before we head out." I told Mom goodbye and we headed off back to Stacy's house. We pulled into her place and entered. She giggled and took me by the hand, leading me into her bathroom. She put her arms around me and hugged me. "This is going to be so much fun. You and I have never had a chance to go shopping before." She leaned over and started the faucet in the bathtub. She poured in bubble bath. It smelled like lavender and vanilla. "Take your clothes off," she said. "And don't be modest. I know you've seen me through the windows when you used to live next door. Now it's my turn," she said jokingly. "I'm just kidding." She turned around while I undressed. Now, this was too good to be true. I must have been smiling from ear to ear. I slowly took off my clothes as the water filled the tub. I slowly lowered myself into the hot water. It felt so good. I realized Stacy was still dressed. Sit back and relax. Close your eyes. I did as I was told and relaxed. Stacy left the room as I relaxed in the bubble bath. The hot water felt so good, the scents were soothing. After about 5 minutes, I heard her rummage around in drawers and come back. I heard an electronic buzz and looked up. Stacy came carrying over a woman's electronic wet/dry razor and a bottle of some kind of lotion. You aren't that hairy, but I would really like you to shave all of your body, drain the tub, dry off and then put this lotion on. Come to my bedroom when you are done. She laid the items on the side of the tub and left the bathroom before I could say anything. I hoped she just liked smooth guys. I hoped this was going somewhere I had wanted since forever, but I knew where this was leading. To be honest, I knew when I stepped into the tub where it was leading. I had thoughts swirling in my head from Mom telling me how I would do anything for this girl, and she was right. Still, there was a very small part of me that I could tell no one, especially not Stacy or Mom. That I still was thinking about that dreamy kiss and how confused I was about it. Would I be missing out if I didn't go through with this? I did what I was told. After I shaved and dried, I rubbed in the lotion. It smelled feminine and my legs felt so smooth afterward. It was such a wonderful sensation. Smooth legs rubbing together felt so silky and girly. I grabbed a white robe that was on the back hook of the bathroom and went to Stacy's room. Stacy, this isn't a real date, is it? I asked. She looked at me a little as if she was hurt. Sure it is, I want to go out on a date with my BFF. She looked at me with a hopeful eye. Like we got to do at the movies. I was hoping Christy and I could go out shopping. She came over to me, her eyes sparkling. Please, we had so much fun. Don't call me that, it's not funny, I said, you had fun. You set me up on a date with a guy. I said. Yes, I know, and that's why we need to go shopping. You need clothes if you want to have another date. And look, this way you are getting 3 dates out with me, she said jokingly, but serious at the same time. All right, only because I love you so much, I said. She jumped up and down, clapping her hands really quickly. Yay! I already have an outfit picked out for you, but let's get your hair and makeup done first. Since I had already been through having hair and makeup done, I sort of understood what to do. I sat down at the vanity and let her work. She had some device with rollers plugged into the wall warming up. She took my still wet hair and started wrapping the rollers around in my hair. I could tell they were warm and there were lots of rollers. She put them all throughout my hair and spritzed my hair with a bottle of something. Then she began working on my makeup. She used the same foundation from movie night. A light blush on my cheeks. The eyeshadow was not as dark as it was movie night. This time it was more of a natural brown color. She said this was more for daytime. Black eyeliner and black mascara. She used an eyebrow pencil to thin out my eyebrows. The lipstick was in a gloss stick. It was pink with a sheer sparkle to it and it tasted like bubble gum. There's my Christy, she said and paused, admiring her makeup skills. Okay, she said, I am going downstairs. Your outfit is laid out over there. Call for me when you are dressed. With that she left the room. I put on the white bra with the pink rose and the matching panties that also had a rose in the center. I rolled up the nude pantyhose over my legs and tucked my excitement down as I straightened all of my undergarments out. It felt different this time. I was curious what I would look like having time to dress, being smooth, and having my hair fixed properly. The last time we rushed to make the movies. So, I have to admit I was curious what I would look like. I still couldn't believe I was doing this. I'm not gay. I'm not a cross-dresser. I wanted her. I wanted to be with Stacy. I tried to convince myself that was the only reason I was doing this and maybe she would appreciate my effort. In the meantime, I was getting to spend more time with her. The dress was a sleeveless white dress with a scoop neck. It had big blue polka dots all over it, it was a bit stretchy, it flared out towards the bottom and could easily be put on or taken off over my head. It didn't even come halfway down my thigh. She had put out matching blue flats that had a little bow on them. I slipped them on. There was a black leather jacket she apparently intended for me to wear over the dress. It was a very short jacket. It didn't quite make it to my midsection. She had also laid out blue dangling earrings that she had turned into ear clips for me and a blue beaded necklace. I put them on and called her back to the room. Stacy, you are wearing jeans and a top. Why am I wearing this tiny little dress when it's so cold out? I asked. You need to wear dresses so you can get comfortable as a girl. I'm sorry, as I said before, I don't have much that will fit you. Girls' clothes are a little different. You have to learn how to walk, sit, stand, and just be in a dress. It isn't something that just comes second nature. You are going to need a little practice before our date. Besides, as we went over last night, I don't have any pants that fit you. I also think the outfit you have on is probably showing a little bit too much for your first date. So, we definitely need to go shopping for you. You can't wear that. I laughed to myself, as if she thinks there were going to be more dates with guys like this for me. But I can wear it to the mall? She shrugged, it's the best I can do for now. She started pulling the rollers out of my hair until she had them all out. She sprayed something across my hair to keep it in place. Then she took a blue ribbon from out of a blue shoulder bag next to her and wrapped it around my head from the bottom back of my hair to the top of my head and tied it in a large bow at the top. She handed me the blue shoulder bag and headed for the front door. I snuck a peek of my hair in the mirror as we walked out. I didn't see me walk by. I saw some girl that I would have turned and taken a closer look had I seen her walk by at school. My hair was frizzy curls all over my head. The blue bow looked cute and perfectly placed. The face of this girl was soft and gentle. The cute little dress. Cute little shoes. There was nothing masculine left. No one would ever correctly guess me as a guy. They would probably laugh at the ridiculous notion that this adorable, feminine, soft creature could be anything but a dainty girl. They wouldn't even guess me as a tom girl. I was all feminine and all girl. Once again, I was a girl. It felt fun. It felt flirty. It felt airy. I smiled. It felt good. As I stepped outside, I felt the cool wind riding up my skirt. My now smooth legs, even clad in pantyhose, could feel the cold air. This outfit felt so free and open. I realized right then just how much freedom girls have with clothing. They can cover themselves fully or be almost as bare as they want and still look casual or sexy if done right. My flat shoes tapped across the sidewalk out to the driveway. I could feel the heel of the flat shoe slip comfortably back and forth on my feet. Being in these clothes made me feel so different. I felt even more feminine in this than I did the evening before. How could I ever feel like a boy at all wearing something like this? The skirt I had to smooth straight to sit down in the car. The purse I had to lay in my lap. The pink lips I could see in the side view mirror. The curls I could feel on the back of my neck. The pull of the earrings on my ears. The dainty feel of the pantyhose between my legs swishing together. Everything I could see about myself. I am a girl now, I thought. Stacy looked at me as we pulled into the parking garage at the mall. Are you ready, sweetie? I don't think it's possible to be ready for this. Aw. Sweetie, you look so adorable in that dress, though. It looks so much better on you than it ever did on me, she said. This isn't exactly what you want to hear from the girl you've had a crush on most of your life. We got out of the car and walked into the mall. We walked into the food court area. You could smell the different foods that had been cooking merged into one unique mall food smell. It hit you all at once, making it hard to make sense of what was actually cooking, but an all-familiar smell at almost any mall across the country. As we walked through the food court area, I could feel eyes on me. I could see guys turn and look. Some guys were sneaking a peek and looking away quickly. One kind of older guy was staring at my legs intently. Stacy, people are staring at me. They can tell I'm a guy. Stacy almost laughed out loud. I am so sorry, sweetie. But there is no way anyone is going to think you are a boy. You should see yourself. You are definitely not a boy. They are staring because you are a very pretty girl. Then she turned her attention to the older guy staring at my legs. And then again, some guys are just creepy. The guy caught her giving him an evil look. He shook his head like he'd been daydreaming and walked out of the mall. So, she said excitedly, let's go shopping? I was soon glad that she had picked out a dress that was easy to slide on and off. I was nervous at the first store trying on my first dress. I was so afraid as I changed there would be cameras or someone would find out I was a guy. We went from store to store where I tried on dress after dress. A couple pairs of tight skinny jeans. I kind of liked how some of the tight girls' jeans were stretchy. It always seemed to me they would be tight and uncomfortable, but they were actually kind of comfortable and made my legs look so sexy. I admired myself in the mirror front and back when I tried them on. I looked hot in these. I slipped my flats back on. Stacy stuck her head in. Oh, wow, those would look so good with heels, she said. Oh, wow, you are right. That would look so sexy, I said. I was turning myself to look from all angles, not really realizing what I had just said. I tried on shoes of all kinds that went with dresses we picked out. At the end of the day, I had so much fun with Stacy that day shopping. There was something about getting to see all these pretty clothes. Not just see them, but I got to wear them. I got to be a part of it, a part of Stacy's day, and I felt so pretty and sexy. I bought 2 dresses, a jacket that was cut extremely short, 2 pairs of very tight jeans, camisoles in different colors, 2 tops, leggings, undergarments, pantyhose, tights, a pair of heels, and a pair of flats. We picked up some inexpensive jewelry at each store to go with some of my new outfits. Stacy smiled evil at me as we left the store. I didn't know what this was about. What? I asked. So I'm having to beg you to go out with me with the boys for just one date, she said. So? I asked. So, you've bought enough clothes to last you a week. I just thought it was interesting, she said. If you are suggesting that I want to be dressed like this. I assure you I don't. I'm only doing this for you, I lied. Mom told me I need to get different things so she could help me decide what I should wear. She looked at me shocked. OMG, you told your mom? I had to, I said. She caught me coming in the house last night. And she wanted you to buy more clothes? Really? She said. I explained to her the whole story of what happened when I got home. Once again, I left out the kiss. Then I realized something. What? I said. Oh, I was just thinking. If she is cool with it, maybe you and I could go out more. You know. Shopping together. I had fun today, she said. I had fun, too. I really did have fun. I had more fun than I wanted to admit, and anything to get to spend more time with Stacy would be great. Just then my cell phone rang. The caller ID showed Parental Unit 1. It was Mom. I showed Stacy, motioned her to be silent, and I picked up the phone. "Hi, Mom." "Chris, so how are things going?" she said in a bit of an accusatory tone. "Good, we are on our way back from the mall now," I said. "Oh, good." There was a pause. "Just curious, what are you wearing right now?" I looked over at Stacy. "You are dressed like a girl again, aren't you?" I didn't know what to say to her. I was quite. "I knew it," she said. "Listen, your father got called out of town for a few days, as usual. I want you to come straight home. Do not go back to Stacy's and do not change clothes. I want to see what you let her do to you. Is that understood?" I knew that tone. This must be done. "Yes, Mom." I hung up. I turned to Stacy. "You have to take me to my house now. Mom wants to see how you dressed me up." Stacy looked at me and smiled. "Okay, cool." She was enjoying this too much. When we reached the house, Stacy parked in the driveway. I was nervous in the daylight of the neighbors seeing me dressed as a feminine sissy as I got out in the cool air again and took the few short steps to the front door in a dress. Mom immediately came walking out of the living room into the foyer as we entered the house. She looked at Stacy first, then she looked at me and she smiled. "Oh, Chris, you actually look so adorable." Mom turned back to Stacy. "You know what you are doing with her isn't right, don't you?" Stacy's smile faded a bit as she realized my mom wasn't exactly cool with it. "However," Mom continued, "she agreed to go on a double date with you and she is going to go through with it. You've done a really good job with her makeup." "Oh, wow, and her hair is amazing." Mom looked me up and down. "Yes, this will do, but there are a couple improvements I can make." Stacy's smile began to come back as she realized she was going to get to keep her BFF for a little bit longer. "Now," Mom said, "Chrissy, go try on the clothes you got today. I want to see every outfit. You can use the bathroom down here. Stacy and I will be in the living room. You can come and show us your fashion show. It will be fun. Get to it now." Mom and Stacy headed to the living room. For the next 45 minutes I tried on different clothes and shoes while Mom got excited about some outfits and seemed impartial to others. It was strange, but it was so gratifying when she approved of outfits I had chosen. There was brown lacy overlay dress that came to my knees. She loved it. I had fun swishing in circles for her to see it. Eventually, Stacy went home. I spent the rest of the evening with Mom still dressed as Chrissy. We had dinner. We washed the dishes together. We talked about different fashion trends over the years. As we stood and talked, the phone rang. It was Stacy. "Hey," she said, "the guys want to go out tomorrow night at 8 p.m. They want to meet us at Donnie's Diner. Is that okay?" I looked at Mom and told her the plan. My mom nodded that was okay. After I hung up the phone with Stacy, I really wasn't ready to take off Chrissy. It had turned out to be such a wonderful day spending it as a girl. I wouldn't want to do it all the time, but pretending for a day was kind of fun. I thought it was over for the night. I went and washed the makeup off my face. I went to my room. I pulled the dress up over my head and neatly laid it on the back of my desk chair. I rubbed my hands across my pantyhose before I pulled them off. Then I glanced at my bed and I saw that Mom had laid a pair of her best pink silk pajamas at my pillow. I slid the rest of my day clothes off except for the panties. I slid on the pajamas and went to bed dreaming of satin, silk, and one very amazing kiss.